We're here at the Multnomah County Master Gardener Demonstration Garden in southeast Portland. It's a beautiful day and we're going to talk about garlic. I have to admit that I've never planted garlic, so this is a learning experience for me too. I'm Linda Goldser and I'm working with Martha Mealy on this video. We're both master gardeners in Multnomah County and volunteers at our garden. At the demo garden, we follow a 7-year crop rotation plan with plant families in our edible beds. Garlic is a bulbous, flowery plant in the allium family along with onions, leeks, shallots, and chives. Alliums are heavy feeders because they will not grow as they should without supplemental nitrogen. With our crop rotation plan, the allium family follows the legume family, which includes nitrogen-fixing plants like peas and beans. Garlic comes in hardneck and softneck varieties. Hardneck garlic sends up a flowering stalk called a scape, which starts at the base of the garlic bulb and goes through the neck. It is said that hardnecks have more complex flavors. In softneck garlic, this scape structure is missing, and the garlic keeps its soft neck at harvest time. It's super difficult to plant garlic using seeds, so garlic is planted by using garlic cloves. A good rule of thumb is not to plant garlic until after the autumn equinox in late September. This year that date is September 22nd, which happens to be tomorrow. This is when the sun is exactly above the equator and day and night are of equal length. Planting garlic in the fall allows the roots to begin growing. When winter arrives, the plants go dormant. Once the soil warms in the spring, the garlic will start growth again right where it left off, which allows for a larger bulb. Garlic is not harmed by cold weather. It actually needs 40 days of cool temperatures to form good cloves. Growth may begin in late fall or early spring. When planting garlic, choose a sunny location with rich, well-drained soil. To prepare the bed for planting garlic, loosen the soil and dig trenches for rows 8 inches apart and 2 inches deep.
Lots of great worms in here. So as Linda said, the hard-necked has a flower stalk that starts at the roots and goes up through the center of the bulb, and around the hardneck are bulbs, just one layer of bulbs, as compared to the softneck, which is what you generally find in the supermarket. It has several layers of bulbs, cloves of different sizes, and the flower stalk actually begins at the top rather than down at the root, so it doesn't have that hard neck through the middle.
Once the row is prepared, spread 1/2 cup of blood meal per 5 feet of row at the bottom of the trench and slightly mix it with the soil.
You also want to make sure that your soil is pretty well mixed and broken up, because garlic likes to send down long roots, and if it hits compaction, it can keep the bulb from becoming really big and fat. You tend to have smaller bulbs, so make sure your ground is really broken up well and well mixed all the way down.
Now that the row is ready, place the cloves pointed end up in a trench spaced 3 to 4 inches apart.
There's the pointy end. Here's where the root forms, so you want that down. And when you're looking at the cloves that you're going to plant, pick the fattest ones, because those will give you the biggest cloves next June. Smaller ones you can plant in a separate row and harvest as green garlic earlier in the season. But you really, for the ones that you want to clove up into something you're going to store, pick the really big fat ones to plant.
So when we mentioned spacing them 2 to 4 inches apart, if you space them 2 inches apart, they have a tendency to grow together because hopefully the bulbs will get large enough to use up 4 inches of space. Cover the cloves with soil and cover the soil with row cover to keep crows and squirrels from digging up and eating the cloves.
I tend to go ahead and create a whole row and then plant the garlic and not cover it until I know all the cloves are in place, and then I can cover it. Then I know what I've done. It's easier for me to keep track of it. So then I'm gonna put this in and I'm gonna water it in and then put the irrigation back in. Took out. And then cover it with row cover. But I would use the staples again to put in place, to hold in place. And this just protects it, as Linda said, from birds or squirrels that may want to dig up the bulb and enjoy a little garlic.
The row cover can be left over the rows until the plants are about 3 to 4 inches high, or until you apply a thick 5 to 8 inch layer of winter mulch of seedless straw to protect against frost heave. The mulch can be removed in the spring when danger of a hard freeze has passed.
You can also use, I'll use maple leaves that I've run through a lawnmower as mulch, and that has worked really well too. Just have to keep it from getting too matted down, so we just have to fluff it during the year so it keeps its insulated quality.
In the spring, once a month in March and April, side dress the rows with 1/4 cup blood meal per 5 feet of row. Then near the end of April, begin fertilizing weekly with a diluted fish emulsion. Also, throughout their growth, you want to check plants for pests. These could be onion thrips, maggots, slugs, birds, or other pests.
But garlic I've always loved to grow because it really isn't bothered by pests much at all. And it's very easy to grow. And boy, is it satisfying to pull up these cloves in midsummer.
In May and June, remove the flower stalks or scapes to promote bulb growth. Garlic is sensitive to day length and matures during the longest days of summer. Check the bulbs for maturity in late June by looking for large bulbs with plump cloves and a dry papery covering. When the bulbs are mature, reduce or stop watering. Harvest the garlic when the leaves begin to turn brown at the tips. Let the bulbs dry and clean them by removing the tops and roots.
Tops and the roots, but you don't want to disturb the paper covering for the garlic. Sometimes you can get a little aggressive because it seems dirty. Go ahead and leave that dirty outer paper covering, because that will be very important in the storage, the ability for the garlic to store for the 3 or 4 months. Sometimes you can get this all the way through the winter. I often am eating last year's garlic as I'm waiting in May to harvest.
So here we have planted 4 rows, 4 feet long, of 3 different kinds of garlic. We have 2 hardnecks, 1 row each of Ivan and Georgian crystal, and 1 soft neck. We have 2 rows of Chopaka. Come June, we expect a bountiful garlic harvest. 1 garlic clove will grow into 1 garlic plant, so the 12 feet of garlic that we have planted should give us about 60 garlic bulbs. We hope you have enjoyed this video. Stop back to this channel often. We plan to add many more informational gardening videos. For more information about the demo garden, email us at demogarden@multnomahmastergardeners.org. Thank you.